Good vach. Birshus, and with the permission of friends old and new, we continue our journey tonight in the dictums of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai's Talmidim. Comes along the next of the Talmidim, and Rabbi Yossi Omer. Rabbi Yossi says, if you recall, Rabbi Yossi is known as the Chassid. What does Rabbi Yossi, known as the Chassid, say? Make sure that the money of your friend is dear to you as your own. עצמך ללמד Torah, and prepare yourself to learn Torah. שאינו ירושלך, that it is not a heritage of yours. וכל מעשיך יהיו לשם שמיים. Rabbi Yossi the Chassid. Notice the first of his dictums. יהי חברך, יהי ממון חברך, חביב עליך כשלח. That the money of your friend should be dear to you as your own. This encompasses the midah of Gemilas Chasodim. The Chassid begins with a Chassidish Avot, so to speak, but he wants to pendle kindness between man and man, so he starts with and says, make sure that you are scrupulous with other people's money. What is the meaning of this? I know I'm careful with my own money, but what about your money? Oh, you're my neighbor? Okay, so the neighbor comes to me and he says, you know what? Let's put up a big fence. And I say, well, you know what? Maybe it'll be sufficient if we don't have a plexiglass fence or a fiberglass fence. Maybe if we just have a wooden fence between us. No, I have to have the plexiglass because this is the way it looks. This is the way it's nice. Well, you know what? Maybe the neighbor can't afford the fiberglass fence. You have to be scrupulous with other people's money. You go to a board meeting in a shul, and the board meeting at the shul is usually comprised of very, very wealthy people. And they say, well, you know what? If you can't afford the assessment, you shouldn't be a member of the shul. Well, you know what? Comes along Rabbi Yossi. And what does Rabbi Yossi say? He says, you should be very scrupulous with other people's money. Don't use the arrogance of wealth to force an issue down somebody else's throat. I know you're careful with your own money. Be careful with mine too. Comes along Rabbi Yossi. And what does he say is the first of his maxims, like we just said? Yehi mamon chavercha chaviv alecha kishalach. Make sure that you're scrupulous with other people's money. Who was he? Rabbi Yossi. He was the Chassid. Hi man de boil maybe Chasida. Who wants to be a Chassid? The Gemara in Bab Metzia tells us. And the Gemara in Bab Metzia answers, L'kayim mili d'nezikin, that you must fulfill the words of what? The laws of nezikin, of torts, which are comprised of the monetary laws of the universe. If you want to be a chassid, make sure that you're careful in money. Comes along the Mishnah and it says, "V'haskein עצמך ללמד Torah," and prepare yourself to learn Torah. What is the derech to learn Torah? To prepare yourself to learn Torah. This is the path of Torah. Pas b'melech tochal, that you will eat bread and salt. Umayim b'mesoides tishta, and you will drink water with brine. Ve'alaretz tishan, and you will sleep on the ground. V'chayitzar tichya, and you will live a life of tribulations. Ubatura ata omel, and in the Torah you will toil. What is the pathway to Torah? V'haskein עצמך Torah. Reishis chachma yiras Hashem. The first is that you must fear God. Ki yiras Hashem reishis da'as, because knowing and understanding the fear and awe of God, that is the first element to coming to have knowledge. And as the Gemara in Bracha says, Ein divrei Torah miskaimim, divrei Torah does not become established ela b'mei shememis atzmo ela, only on those people who kill themselves over it. Ugh, that's how you gotta prepare. And what does Rabbi Yossi say next? Why do you gotta prepare? She'ena Yerusha Lacha. Because it's not your heritage. It's not your heritage. Does it not say? Rabbi say Torah tziva lana Moshe Morasha Kehilas Yaakov. Morasha Kehilas Yaakov. It's an inheritance for the people of Israel, for the people of Yaakov. So what's going on? It's not an inheritance. The Gemara tells us the following in Bab Metzia also. Kol shu Talmid Chacham, anybody who's a Talmid Chacham, ubno Talmid Chacham, and his son is a Talmid Chacham, uben beno Talmid Chacham, and his grandson is a Talmid Chacham too. Shu ve'ein ha'Torah posekes mizara le'olam. That Torah will never be cut off from his seed for the rest of the world. Shenemar lo yomush sefer ha'Torah hazeh mipicha mipi zarecha mipi zere zarecha. Oh, how is that going to be the case? Here comes Rabbi Yossi and he says, it's not an inheritance. We learn that there is an inheritance for it. It does. Lo b'mehida you not take. Hashal sheles, the chain of Torah is not going to break. So what does it mean? So there's a distinction I'd like to suggest. There's a Morasha Kehilas Yaakov, and some of the Meforshim would like to explain. Let's look at what it says. Morasha Kehilas Yaakov. It's an inheritance for the congregation of Israel, not the individual. The community, the tzibur, has a right, an inheritance in Torah, but not the individual. No. A lot of people say a little differently. Oh no, that can't be the right pshat. And I'm going to give a raya as to why that's not the right pshat, that the tzibur has the inheritance and not the individual. Notice what it says, Morasha Kehilas Yaakov, that it's an inheritance for the congregation of Yaakov. If you wanted to say it was the tzibur, it should have said Yisrael, because Klal Yisrael, as a tzibur as a whole, was named Klal Yisrael. But as the individual people, we're Pirkei Avot, each and every one of us. So then, since it says Morasha Kehilas Yaakov, the community of Yaakov, it's every single individual Jew has a right to it. But what is the right that we have to it? What is a morasha, an inheritance? It's really a legacy. It is not an inheritance. You see, an inheritance, my friends, Rabbi say, an inheritance is my father dies, and he's got $1 million, and he gives it to me. That's an inheritance. I don't have to work one day in my life to acquire it. Nothing. And not only do I not have to work at it, I don't have to do anything more for it as well. That's an inheritance. A morasha, a legacy, and a heritage, on the other hand, oh no, yes, it's out there, but it's mine for the taking. In order for me to get it, I gotta work at it. I've got to be a haskein עצמך Torah. I've got to prepare myself for the Torah. I've got to be an amelim b'Torah, an amel b'Torah. It doesn't come for free. You got to work at it. Ein divrei Torah miskayim min ela al mi shememis atzmo aleh. Torah does not be acquired unless a person dies over it. Not because the father died over it, but rather you yourself did it. She'ena Yerusha Lacha. It's not yours unless you go and get it. And you ain't going to go and get it unless you work at it. You are melim b'Torah. You've got to do something about it. Moira the Rabbi say. Rabbi Yossi continues, and I can go on, but I'm not, because this man lost nicht. Rabbi Yossi continues. V'chol ma'asecha. V'chol ma'asecha yu l'shem shamayim, and all of your deeds should be in the sake of heaven. In the sake of heaven. In the sake of heaven. Korach thought he was doing it also for the sake of heaven. We learned that that's not for the sake of heaven. How many people throughout history have called out, in the name of God, I'm doing this? Moira v'Rabbi Havizohir b'ma'asecha. Be careful in your words, in that when you invoke the name of God, that you're doing something that it really is. How many of us will really ever know? Raboisai, it's going to be Erev Shavuos. Haskein עצמך ללמוד Torah. It's coming. Kabbalas Torah is coming. Haskein עצמך ללמוד Torah. Derech Eretz Kadma LeTorah. Good vach.